Okay, guys, this is my Frontier update 2 years later, 2 years after the whole event happened. I emailed Frontier when I got back and just explained the situation to them, sent them the confirmation number, sent them all the information they would need to actually research this. Mind you, I did check in my bag. Remember that. Don't forget that detail. There was a bag checked in. So months go by. I think it was like 6 or 7 months go by, and I do receive an email back from Frontier, and they tell me, unfortunately, we are not going to refund you any amount because you never checked in for your flight. Didn't check in, apparently, but I did check in a bag. So that was really disappointing to me to basically get to a point where I felt like I did all that I could, called them, emailed them, followed up with them, and then they turn around and say, you never even checked in for your flight, which is literally impossible because I checked in a bag. So I never got the response. I never got, I never got the response that I was looking for, never got an apology, never got an actual follow up that meant anything. And really, the video was just to get the word out that when a company is doing bad and it seems like it's a constant thing that's going on amongst other passengers, that they should be called out. Like, we shouldn't allow this just to happen. People should know and have a forewarning before booking with them that this is a pattern that they fall into. And I've had a lot of comments. People are like, you talk too much, you were in the wrong, you were being a pain in the ass, or whatever it was. And that's okay. People can have their opinion. I felt like I needed to say something in that moment. And I've had other people make responses and say, "Well, you didn't show us the whole video." Well, what happened in the very beginning? Literally, all that happened was I was waiting in line, just like everybody else. When they announce your boarding group, you wait in line. And if you know anything about Frontier, as you get closer to there, they will check your bag. They'll do a visual inspection, and if check your bag, meaning they'll want you to put your bag into that metal carrier to see if it fits or not. Now, I've kind of learned this through other flights that if you are in groups 1, 2, or potentially 3, that means you have checked in a bag, meaning that the gate agents will not be so strict on you because you've already paid money to check in a bag. I learned that recently. You guys are probably going to not like this, but I took a Spirit flight, and as I was getting towards the front, the gate agent said, "Hey, your bag, put it in there." And they were like, "Wait a minute, are you in group 1, 2, or 3?" And I was like, "I'm in group 3." They're like, "Oh, you're okay. You already paid for a bag." And I was like, "Oh, that's the thing they do. If you've already paid for a bag by checking it in, they're not going to house you so much, and they're going to let you go even if your bag is a little bit bigger." Now, here's the big kicker. I actually have taken 2 Frontier flights in the last 6 months. Now, I know maybe last 2 months. It was very recently. Now, I was in a situation where it was like I needed to book a last minute flight. And as you know, Frontier and Spirit, they tend to be the cheapest option that you have. So on the first flight, no issues. It was fine. I was like, am I going to be banned? Are they going to have me on a list? Am I going to get red flag? Like, what's going to happen? I boarded the flight, no issue. And, sometimes when a company is not doing so great, you can give them another chance. I decided to give them another chance, and I also needed a flight cheap, quickly. Second flight, it was coming down to it. I actually had to take things out of my bag. I had a couple books, and they said, books you don't have to worry about. You can carry those in your hand. And they had me check my bag, and it was fine. But it was getting to that point where I was like, is this same thing going to happen again? And it's the same bag I've been traveling with. I haven't changed anything. It wasn't like super full. I was going like on a 2 or 3 day trip. I really didn't need anything, and I had most of my stuff at the destination that I was going to. So the Frontier saga, hasn't necessarily ended. I did reach out to a lawyer about doing a class action lawsuit, which was already going on somewhere in Florida. And I gave them my information, told them exactly what happened. And they reached back out to me and said, unfortunately, we're not able to, bring you onto this class action lawsuit. And I was kind of confused about that. So, my goal in all this was not to make the people look bad or say that these individuals are terrible people, you should hate them. Like, they're people, they make mistakes. I hope that they've changed some of their behaviors, and ultimately I really think it's just policies from the higher ups coming down, and the employees are following them. Now, even if you have bad policies, you can still act in a manner that is professional. You can still act in a manner that, is for the people, because the people are the ones that are buying the tickets and making these airlines stay in business. So I hope that all of you are not hating on the people that were actually in the video. You can have your own opinions about me. I mean, I can speak for myself, and you've seen the video how I conducted myself. I wasn't perfect in it, but I think looking back at it, I still could have handled that a bit better. And hindsight's always 2020. So the Frontier saga has, like I said, not officially ended because I feel like there was no resolution to it. But at the same time, here we are a few years later, and more of these videos are still popping up. I do wish that Frontier would change some of their policies, and the incentive of giving gate agents a $10 cutback if they can check in a bag at the gate, I think is completely ridiculous. That needs to change. Like, that shouldn't even be an option, because that really makes things muddied and really distorted when you're doing that, and gives them the incentive to not really help people out, but to, in essence, hassle them. That's what I felt. I felt hassled in that video. So that's my Frontier update. A couple years later, hope that that brings some resolve to some people. And I hope in the future, if you're flying, whether it's Southwest, who has now taken away their two free baggages, or Delta, which seems to have really great reviews. Whatever airline you choose, just do your research. Make sure it fits in your budget. And ultimately, I would say this: you do get what you pay for. Sometimes you get lucky, and sometimes you get stuck like me. So Frontier Update is at a close. Thank you guys so much for watching. And we've now reached 1,000 subscribers, which that was never the plan, but I was like, if I reach 1,000, I will make an updated video. And so here's the updated video. Thanks, guys. Signing off. See ya.